Welcome to Wisdom of the World. Today I will tell a story from India. It's from the Marathi speaking part of India, which is around Bombay, central India. And it is about, does fate really exist? And it's called Mother Mary's Son. And it goes like this. Everybody has heard of Satwai. In that part of India, it is Satwai who writes the fate of the baby after it's just been born on their forehead. Nobody can read that. Not even the gods can read it. But Satwai is the one who does that. And now Satwai also had her own daughter. And, her daughter was growing up and said to her mom, "Mom, why are you gone so often in the night?" And she says, "Well, I'm on a duty that's given by God to me, so I have to do that." "So what did you do? What do you do?" And she says, "Well, I write the fate on the forehead of babies." And the daughter said, "Did you do that for me too?" And Satwai said, "Yes, of course." "So what did it say?" And then Satwai said, "I can't tell you that. I'm not allowed to tell you that." And then the daughter started to really get down on her mom, pester her, annoy her, even threaten to leave the home if she wouldn't tell. So finally, Satwai told her daughter, and she says, "Well, your fate is a mother marries the son." And the daughter was really upset. She said, "Mom, how could you have done that to me?" And the mother said, "I don't do it. I just hold the pencil and then, it's just written there." And so the daughter was really furious about it and says, "I am not going to let that happen. As a matter of fact, I will never get married. I will never even see a man." So much for that fate. And so she says, in order to do that, I'm going to live in a forest. So she lived in a forest. Maybe she was 10, 12 years old at that time. A couple of years later, in the forest, a king passed through. And, there's a beautiful lake. And he really refreshed himself totally well. A little later, girl didn't know, but she also goes to that same spot and she also really takes a great bath. Then she comes home, and a little later, a couple of weeks, a month, 2 months later, she finds out that she's pregnant. How is that possible? But yeah, she was really pregnant, and 9 months later, a baby boy was born. A good-looking, strong-looking boy. But she says, "I will not have fate have its way." So she wrapped the baby in her sari and threw it over the mountain cliff. She says, "So I'll show fate." Now, below the mountain cliff lived a couple which had a banana farm. And the baby landed in the top of a very strong banana tree. And later, for a bit, until the guy noticed, the screaming of the baby, and brought the baby carefully down to his wife. They didn't have children themselves, so they thought this is a present of God. And they raised this boy as if it was their own. Now, our daughter lived for more years in the forest, and then finally she thought, okay, I'm getting a little lonely out here. I think I have beaten the fate, so I can safely go into the real world. So she walks into the forest, she rounds around that mountain cliff, and she ends up at the banana farm of our friends. And they welcome her with open arms, and once they realize that she has nowhere really to go, they said, "Well, why don't you stay and just live with us. And so she started to take care of the family as it was. And the old couple was getting older, and they thought, well, God gave us a son, and now also he gave us a daughter, so why don't we marry them? So they married her to the boy they had adopted, which was her son, but she didn't know that. They didn't know that either. So she gets married to the boy, and they live together. Now, she was at that moment, let's say, the lady of the house, taking care of the older couple. And when she knew every nook and corner of that house, and at some point she found a little scrap of sari there, and she recognized it immediately as her own sari. And in order to check that she was right about that, she checks with the old lady, and the lady said, yeah, and told her the whole story. She found this baby wrapped in the sari. And then she knew that fate had actually come true in her case. But she decided that already had happened, so she decided to just live on. She took care of the old couple, and she took also, was a great wife to her husband. So, thank you.